Now let's continue our series about how to develop architectural design by code embedded in Blender with a more extensive example on Python, on a structured work with Python. So first we have to organize our library of objects for meshes and for materials. So let's start and go for the ceiling of an object, go in there, extrude it by 0.1 and then move it 2 meters. Here, you want to see okay, move it by 2 meters. This is not correct. We want to have it by 1.995, I think. So this is okay, object 1. So we are not really interested in our library in the architectural object. It's a library of design objects. So this is arbitrary, but this is a reference we need. So we call that the ceiling. So now we want to have a column. So we add a cylinder, go in, scale it by 0.05, but we don't want to have that on Z. Go in and move it. So move the top. Go it a little down, and this is our column, and this is object 2. Okay, so to get a proper gap, I think it's good to go in and scale it by 0.95. But not in Z, and go back. So which means if we work on that, so if we duplicate that, we get these kind of layouts. Okay, so but this is our library. So we have the library column, ceiling. So this is addressable, and now with the materials we want to have white plaster. It should be here, white plaster, and then a copy of that, and we say it's gray plaster, and this should be dark gray, something like this. So that's it for the first sketch. So we have very rough versions of our ceiling and column being able to address. So we save that. Save that, go to here, and we say this is our library 01. So now with a new design, a new file, let's go for linking it to our library. Go here. We have the principal code in this directory of A4 with our library, and here I prepared a building, a code for a small building, and we want to discuss that. So we need to import Blender Python. We need to import our MTP code, and we need to import the library, to link the library, and we call it LEB01. There can be multiple libraries and there can be multiple other codes. So then we define the layers. We say layer 1 is for our prototypes, and layer 0 and layer 1 is for our layout in version 1. So now this is on the hierarchies. We create a block which is child of scene. So scene is here. So child of this. We create a block called prototypes, and this is on layer 1. And then we create a block building A as child of scene on layer 2, and there's no offset in the geometry. Then we create a building A sub-block or child, which is called floor 1, layer 2, and then floor 2 with an offset in Z by 2. So this is the height of our element, layer 2 as well. So this is our hierarchy, and it will show up here. Then we import the meshes, the ceiling and the column of library 1, which is this. Then we import from library 1 the two plasters, gray and white plaster. That's the materials. Now we create a scheme. So it's a principal construction. We call it module 1. So it's our prototype, and it should go to prototypes, and we want to have it on layer 1. So first is object C1 is a copy of ceiling. It's the mesh is a ceiling, that's the actor. We have the mask of white plaster. It goes to the outline in prototypes. It has no offset in translation and no in rotation. We put it to our layer 1, which is for the prototypes, and we say it should be organized in module A. So this is the class. We do the same with the column as CO2, gray plaster. There's another link to another color, a material. No translation and no rotation, layer 1, and part of module A, which is a group object in Blender. So therefore we have set up all the principle, the whole system, and now we create 4 instances of this module A. We simply call it instance, and we are not interested in specific numbers because we don't need it specifically. So in floor 1 we go with an instance of module A at 000, no rotation, on layer 2, which is for our layout. The same with an offset in y by 3, then in x by 3, and then the same on floor 2 with no offset. And there will be an offset of floor 2 in z by 2 units. So we get 4 units, and this is the hierarchical organization. If we run that, we see building and prototypes are here. Prototype is with object C1, C2. It's here. These are the prototypes. Yeah, prototypes, ceiling, column. So we have the ceiling here. This is the actor. This is the architectural object. The actor, the architectural object. So this ceiling here is no. It has no. No. Column is. Okay, so and then building is with floor 1. Here's instance 1, the 3 instances. These instances are with different offsets, and this is 1. And you see instance is numbered to get new unique names of these architectural objects, and we don't care by not specifying it in a unique way. If we look at it, this is our layer 1. We defined the prototypes, and this is our arrangement. So if we go for a rendering, sun is missing, so we can go for the sun, and we say 20.5, 3, and add the floor, say by 6, and if we go for the rendering, here we are with our design. The sun, that's it. And you see we have all these structures, and we have a very comprehensive view of our architectural organizational setup of this scene. Now let's look for the next level of detail, how to organize it. So save this, and this is our layout 01. Now we go and look for the library 01. Let's say this is this is level 1. Then take a copy, duplicate, and move that to layer 2. So here we have copies of that. Now what do we see? With our ceiling we had a new number, so it's a copy. So we say this is ceiling LOD 2, and this is column LOD 02. So let's go in and change the column a little. The scale by 2. So that's a column here, and the ceiling, ceiling let's bevel the mesh edges, bevel, mount, to make it a little smooth, just to be fast and show something. So this is our LOD2, and let's make it more, and this one, column LOD2. Save it, and we can have additional colors, for example, but we don't want to touch it again now. So go for recent, we go for our layout. So we have it here, ceiling and column. So this might have, so we can simply say, so let's say this is ceiling, we take a variable, and like with this layout, we can say ceiling equals ceiling, and then column equals, so by that we should have the LOD 01 So this simply puts this content here and this content here. Now if I say LOD O2 and here LOD O2, then we import other things, so but we have to do it here as well. So ceiling and column. So now we have what always is important. We have a single place where to organize our stuff. So we can, for example, get with floor 2 on a separate layer. So when we do it with here with 3 and we say this should be layer 2. So, or we can have it's layer 3. Or we can say this should be on 1 and 2 and 3, and we can have 2 and 3, which means if we just want to have the first floor, it's 1, it's the second floor, and if we want to have both, we can have it on 3, just to show how it might work. So with ceiling now, this we have to save that as a new version, play with 2.0, 2. Save that as a new version. And if we make a new document now, everything is fresh. Go for the text editor, open our new version here. Then we can run this script and get an error. This shit. Okay, the problem was that ceiling has a wrong name, so I addressed it with O2. So I have to save it as my library at O2, and I have to be very careful with these things. So it's LOD O2, or let's get run it, look at the result with the 1, 2, 3. All this stuff properly organized. So, and this is your comprehensive way to control your things. And what you've seen with the layers, you've seen it now with the level of detail. It's you can organize it in a very strict and proper way. So next videos will be about organizing the same thing in Mathematica, because then we are able to model in the lambda calculator will be much more flexible. And of course, these things and these instantiations, you can have easily control that with formulas, give hundreds of them to give it a proper architectural, to make it a proper architectural layouts. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it interesting and will follow these next tutorials. Bye.